Welcome to Direct U.S. Immigration's channel, where you get direct access to our most up-to-date immigration and global mobility space. My name is Maitreya Brown, and I'm going to talk about how to prepare for your K-1 visa interview and sample questions to expect from the immigration officer. You're not going to want to miss out on this one. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Maitreya Brown, and I'm a U.S. immigration attorney based in Washington, D.C. I'm also the principal attorney at Direct U.S. Immigration, where we work with clients in all 50 states and around the world. Before we start, click on the like and subscribe button to follow our Immigration Hub to get the latest immigration information that could be vital to your case. And also, be sure to stick around until the end to get a bonus tip on how you can prove that your relationship is real. As you may know, an interview is an essential part of obtaining virtually any non-immigrant visa for entry to the United States. But the K-1 Fiancé visa interview questions dive deeper into your history and long-term intentions. They can even seem a little personal, and for some people, a little scary. It's natural to be anxious about your K-1 interview, but if you prepare yourself and know your fiancé well, you'll find that the Fiancé visa interview questions are actually very simple to answer. The K-1 questions will focus on your relationship with the U.S. citizen fiancé, and there's no reason to fear the interview if you have a genuine relationship. The K-1 beneficiary must attend the interview along with any K-2 children included in the same I-129F petition. The U.S. citizen sponsor is not required to attend the interview and generally may not attend. However, some U.S. embassies or consulates may allow the U.S. sponsor to attend. So check with the U.S. Embassy near you for specific rules about fiancé visa interviews. You'll need to bring the following documents with you to the interview. Form DS-160. So once this form has been completed through the online process, you will see the DS-160 confirmation page. Print that confirmation and bring it with you to your interview. A valid passport, which enables you to travel to the U.S. and is valid at least 6 months beyond the length of the K-1 visa. And some country-specific agreements provide exemptions. Your birth certificate, so be sure to have a version that is translated into English. Divorce or death certificates of any previous spouses for both fiancés, and again, there are some country-specific exemptions. Police certificates from your present country of residence and all countries where you have lived for more than 6 months or more since the age of 16. A police certificate details arrests and outcomes of any arrest. Your medical exam documentation, and this must be done before the interview. The local embassy or consulate notifications will provide you specific details such as which doctors and locations are acceptable. The vaccinations required by law for immigrant visa applicants are not required for a K-1 visa applicant, but it is strongly recommended, especially if the couple is going to file for a green card after for which the vaccines would then be required. Form I-134, so bring the affidavit of support with you. 2 2x2 photographs, so passport-like photographs, and then evidence of your relationship, which is very important and crucial for this. So many wonder why the fiancé visa interview questions get so much attention. And the reason is visa fraud, and particularly marriage fraud, which has been historically a problem for U.S. immigration officials. So marriage fraud happens when at least one of the parties of the marriage enters into the marriage to circumvent immigration laws to acquire immigration benefits, like a green card, falsely. So marrying for the primary purpose of obtaining a green card is a clear case of fraud. Therefore, U.S. immigration officials focus their questions on your relationship. They need to be convinced that your relationship is genuine and that you are getting married because you are in love and plan to live life together. The K-1 Fiancé visa is in place so that the foreign fiancé may enter the United States to marry the U.S. petitioner within a 90-day period. With this in mind, it's very important to take heed of potential interview questions. The consular officer may begin by getting to know the K-1 Fiancé applicant and information about his or her background. Typical questions that the officer may ask you about your background may include your full name, birth date, how old you are, your nationality, what languages you speak, were you previously married and if so, when, do you currently work, have you ever been to the US before and if so, when, why, how, where, do you have family living in the United States, if so, where, have you had a K-1 fiancé visa before, if so, when, have you ever been arrested, if so, for what, when, and when do you plan on entering the US? Immigration officials screen applicants by asking questions that a typical person in a real relationship would know about his or her fiancé. The expectation is that you know your fiancé well. The consular officer will test this knowledge by asking you questions about your fiancé and his or her background. Some sample questions include the following. What is your fiancé's name, birth date, where your fiancé was born, how old is your fiancé, what is your fiancé's phone number or email address, does your fiancé have some favorite hobby or interest, did your fiancé go to college, if so, where, how did you and your fiancé meet, has your fiancé been married before, if so, when and why did he or she divorce, where does your fiancé live, does your fiancé live with anyone, and does your fiancé have children, and if so, how many? A couple that has gone through a normal courtship will know most things about each other. You've discussed many of the big issues that come with marriage. For example, you should probably know about your fiancé's desired number of children, if any, and other plans for the future. The consular officer will ask you a series of questions about your relationship in order to determine if it is real. Examples of fiancé visa interview questions about your relationship include the following. When and where did your fiancé meet? How long have you known your fiancé? How many times have you and your fiancé met in person? Where did you and your fiancé meet in person? What activities do you enjoy doing together? Have you ever met your fiancé's parents? Why or why not? Will any stepchildren live with you? Has your fiancé ever visited you in your country? Have you visited your fiancé in the US? When did your fiancé and how did your fiancé propose? Did you have an engagement party? Who was there? Have you already planned your wedding? Can you provide any evidence that you've planned the wedding? Will your family be attending the wedding? And where will you and your fiancé live after you are married? The K-1 visa interview will feature a lot of questions to determine if your reasons to enter the United States are purely based on your status or your relationship. Here are a few more questions that you might want to expect. Do you work anywhere right now? What is your current workplace? Are you aware of everything that you have to do once your K-1 visa has been approved? What is the color of your fiancé's eyes? If your fiancé has been married before, do you know the name of their ex-spouse? Does your fiancé have any pets? If so, how many and what type? What is the religious background of your fiancé? Does your fiancé have a criminal background? And have they ever been convicted of a crime? So what happens next? So there are a few possible outcomes following the interview. One possible outcome is that the officer approves your application immediately. You will receive your passport containing the K-1 visa if your application is approved. Additionally, you will receive a sealed packet that should not be opened. The Department of Homeland Security will look for the sealed packet when the applicant first enters the U.S. Another potential outcome is that the consular officer may ask that more evidence be submitted to support the application and continue to consider the application. The final potential outcome is that the consular officer may find a reason to not believe the validity of the relationship or other serious issues and therefore recommend that the request for a visa be denied. Reasons could be a prior arrest for serious charges, or they do not find the relationship genuine. It is, however, relatively rare for a K-1 application to be denied without first having the chance to submit additional evidence. As promised, here's some bonus information that you may not know about. The consular officer's goal is to establish that the applicant is part of a genuine relationship. So here are some tips about the types of evidence you should have to help illustrate your life as a couple. Create a timeline of the relationship and take a trip down memory lane. Go over the key dates, events, and memories of your time together. Bring copies with you if you have photographs or other mementos that support the relationship. Create a folder with all your official documents. This should include translations of original documents like birth certificates if they are not in English. Look for documents that support the legitimacy of your relationship. So, travel itineraries, photos of trips taken together, phone bills of when distance kept you physically apart, receipts of big events, birth certificates of any children you may have had together. So think of anything that can demonstrate the length and legitimacy of your relationship. Documents that support the financial stability of the relationship. So include evidence of joint bank statements, rental or mortgage agreements, and evidence of any assets that you co-own as a couple, if any. And organize the documentation. It doesn't have to be color-coded and cross-sorted alphabetically, but it is recommended that you have a system that allows you to identify any documents as needed as easily as possible so that you are not searching relentlessly through the interview. I hope you found this video helpful. Subscribe if this content or information helps you in any way. Comment below if you want me to talk about something specific, and share this resource widely because you never know who needs answers to these questions. Additionally, if you have any specific questions about this video as they pertain to your unique circumstances, please schedule a consultation with us also at the link below, and I'll see you in the next video.